paying attention to what works elsewhere and what can we take from that, and responding, I would say, probably more honestly to what is happening now in our housing and investment in terms of markets, and perhaps feeling less constrained by what's been sort of inherited or historical in terms of assumptions about tenure and delivery models. And I'll just give you some examples, I guess, to make that real. So I did a panel on Friday with the NLA with people from Vienna, and so interesting. I'm not one for you could just take that and plonk it in London. Of course you can't. We're a different city, but it's interesting because arguably you could say origins of Vienna are not that different from London. I'll caveat this, obviously I don't know this in huge amounts of detail, but their approach to housing and affordable housing is very different to what's then evolved in London 100 years ago. And even now, Vienna is very much more rental dominated in a way that London, obviously, we don't have quite that same dominance yet, but they introduced things like a luxury tax, and they taxed people who paid high rents for their housing for things like having servants or having cars or leisure consumption. And then they used this money to build around 65,000 homes. So they didn't borrow.
Very strategic.
Amazing. And they were saying they have not, in comparison to other cities, they have not sold off their affordable housing stock. But it was just so striking in how they talked about it. So they were talking about like, oh, affordable housing is homes for the many. I think it was 75% of our population lives in affordable housing. Now, I did a very crude, I used Copilot, so I won't say the percent because I haven't fact checked it. For London, I was like, how much of London's population is eligible for affordable housing as we define it? And it was the majority of the population. But that's not how we talk about it here. We talk about it as, oh God, we've got to deliver 35%, 20% affordable housing in terms of policy. This is for the majority of people. Like, let's get over that. That's just one example of what could we take from somewhere like Vienna and apply that to London, because it is laughable to say that the system is working at the moment and we need to change that. Will the emergency package of measures change it enough? Probably not. It's a good step forward. And I really welcome things like a more pragmatic approach to design standards. But I think there's more that we can do. I guess that kind of real solution driven kind of way of doing things, that's what I'd like to see as more pervasive across the industry.